Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bianca and today we are going to work on a crochet project. I've been wanting to make a flower beanie and I started making one. I actually started filming this video a little bit ago. I was almost done and I just didn't like how it looked, so I had to start all over again. But this is where we are now. I made a beanie with double crochet stitch. I currently have a how to make, I believe it's how to make the Louise Belcher beanie, and we use a single crochet stitch on that one. That works just as fine. You can make a beanie, a base beanie, however you like with whatever stitch that you prefer. Mine over here is a dark green, and my petals are yellow. And you can see that I already have 3 petals on my beanie. I made these to test and see if it is going to work out, and so far I'm liking how this looks instead of the other one that I had made before. So we have 3 petals here, and I have one slot up here for one of them and then the other one over here. You can also use whatever color petals you want. I have this yellow and I don't think I have a lot of it, so I'm going to probably use another mix of yellow, but flowers come in different colors, so I think that's gonna look pretty cute. Right? Right? And I bet that you notice we have all of these different stitch markers, so in just a bit, I will flip the camera around and I'll be able to show you what each of these are. But before we start, please make sure to give this video a like and consider subscribing so you can see more videos like this one. All right, let's get started let's continue working on our beanie because I've already started on it, but let's continue working on it. So now we're facing our beanie and I wanted to show you my nails because I do love making my nails for each project that I make, and I have little sunflowers on there. I hope you like. Put little sunflowers on the comments if you like that. All right, so this is all the yarn that I have left for these 2 extra pieces that I still need to make. So let me just explain what I've done here. You can see that I have different stitch markers and each one has their color. So right over here I have like this little greenish yellow color. Then I have these purple ones, these pinks, blues, and again some other purple ones. So the reason I set these up is to mark where my petals are gonna go. I had originally done them like from purple to blue and then started a petal, but the petals need to kind of overlap, or that's kind of what I'm wanting it to do. Otherwise it just looks like it didn't look right for me. I'm just gonna leave it at that because that's what the other one did and I didn't really like it. So based off of the number of stitches that I have around my face, I divided it to 5. Somewhere in there, my math didn't turn out as great, and some of the petals are a little bit bigger than the others, but that's fine. I don't mind that. This one in the center is going to be the biggest one. And like I mentioned, they are going to overlap each other. You can see that I've already done that here. I made this petal first and then this one. So now, since I've already done this petal, I am going to work on this one here, the purple. Please let me know if that makes sense, or if you have any questions, put them in the comments below and I'd be more than happy to help. So this is very similar to my Demogorgon beanie. If you remember, or if you've watched that video, I mentioned that it's very much like a flower. The Demogorgon is a man-eating flower. So that's kind of where I got the idea to make this beanie as well. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do my purples here, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this petal is going to have 13 stitches. I'm going to go in the back loop only. I'm going to chain and then do a half double crochet in that same stitch. So that's my first stitch. And I'm going to do 13 half double crochets all down in the back loop only. And if you need help with a reminder of what a half double crochet looks like, you can see it here, or you can watch one of my how to crochet videos. I'll link them in the card above as well. But you basically loop some yarn over your hook, insert in the back loop for this particular stitch, grab some yarn, pull that through, so we have 3 loops, and whoop, pull through again. And that is your half double crochet. So now that we're over here in our petal, I'm going to half double crochet in the front loop of this one, all the way until I get to my little purple stitch, which I believe should be right there. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Perfect. So we have 13 half double crochets. I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, and I'm going to do 13 half double crochets all the way down. So I'm going to do a half double crochet stitch row up until row 10. So rows 1 through 10 are going to be half double crochet stitches. We're going to chain, turn our work, and then half double crochet down. So we're on row 3. I will meet you once I get to, before I start row 11. So I'll see you in a bit. All right, so I made it over here to row 10. We can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oop, I need one more. All right, 10. Now I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, and now we're on row 11. We're going to make decreases on the corner stitches. So that means I am going to take 2 of these stitches and make them into 1, like that. And I am going to go down, all the way down, until I meet the last 2 stitches. Am I too far? Probably. All right, you see here are my last 2. I have 1 left. So right here, I looped some on my yarn, on my hook, pull through. This is how I do my decreases for half double crochet. It may be wrong. It may be right. I don't know, but that's how I do it. And it seems to be working out so far, so I'm just gonna keep going. So I'm gonna chain 1. So for row 12, what I'm going to do is do half double crochet row all the way down. And I am very close to finishing this yarn. I think this is going to be the last petal of this color, and then the one in the center is going to be another one. I didn't buy any extra yarn for this because I've been trying to use up all of the yarn in my stash. So I have quite a few yellows, but not enough. This one I actually used for the Transformers beanie. So this is the same yarn from the Transformers beanie. This is all that was left. All right, so we finished row 12. I chained 1. Now on row 13, we are going to do the decreases again in the corners. Okay, then half double crochet all the way down up until the second to last stitch. All right, that's the third one. So right over here are my last 2. I'm going to make a decrease. Okay, chain 1, I'm having trouble here with my yarn, excuse me. See, that's all we have. This is all we have. Will we finish this one? Who knows? It's exciting, isn't it? Exciting content. All right, what was this? Row 14? I hope so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yep. Row 14. Again, we are going to decrease on the corners. Okay. And how are y'all doing? Let me know in the comments where you're watching this from. I've seen that there are people from many places that watch my videos, so let me know where you're watching this from and say hello. I'd love to shout you out in the next video. All right, so we have row 15 here now, right? We finished row 14, we chained 1, again with the decreases on the corners. So I'm gonna do that here. Half double crochet next, half double crochet, one more half double crochet and a decrease. Okay, so far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches on the top, and if I decrease one last time for row 16, I will end up with 3, and that's what I've been doing. So I'm going to do a decrease here, 1 half double crochet here, and then the final decrease. So for this petal, I ended my petal top on row 16. So now I'm just gonna close this off, and look at that. That was it. That's all the yarn I have for this now. I mean, I could start the next one with that, but it's not gonna be enough. All right, so we have this petal down here. Let me just flip this over. This petal was a total of 16 rows. Each petal is a little different, like I mentioned, because some of them are going to be bigger, others, I mean, it is what it is. If you look at a flower, they're, at least I don't think they are, all of the petals, they're a little bit different, and that is okay. But to show you what or how high, tall this is, we're looking at about 6 inches for this petal here. For this little one, we're looking at about 5 inches. This is 5.5, right? Yeah, almost 6. And right over here, we have another that's like 5. Perfect. So that's how long my petals are. You can always change that, of course, right? You can make that smaller or bigger, however you please. So now we have this big one here. It's going to be basically the exact same thing that we did with this petal here, but now it's just going to be a lot bigger. We're going to have a few more stitches in the front, and the others are going to be in the back. And there's a reason why I want that to be in the front and in the back, is because I'm going to do little petals, hopefully, in the front. But we'll see how this looks first, and then we'll do the little petals. So let me go get some yarn. And like I told you, I have a whole bunch of scrap yarn. So we're gonna use a lot of scrap yarn. So this is the other scrap yarn that I have. This is actually the exact color of this border here. But you know, it is what it is. I chose a different color. I wanted this one. I thought I had enough, but I don't. So we're gonna use this one. I'll put this in my bag so it hopefully doesn't get in the way. Okay, so now we're gonna work on this center one, and I counted them. I don't like that number that I had, so I'm going to do one extra one on this side. That should give me like 15 stitches, I think.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's 16. What is happening?
That's fine. I'll do 16 on this one. So right up here, I'm going to do a I'm going to attach my yarn by chaining 1 and doing 1 half double crochet in the front loop of this one, a half double crochet in the front loop of the next one, and having these stitch markers is a little difficult because they get in the way. All right, so we have 2 there. Then right over here is the third one. So I am going to half double crochet here as well in the front loop. Now that I'm done being in front of this petal, I'm going to half double crochet in the back loops. All while holding on to that back yarn, holding down that yarn. So right here I am in the front loop because I'm closest to that petal. Like I'm actually right in front of that petal. And one more in front and the last one in the front. Okay, perfect. So this is going to be my petal in the center. I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I am going to half double crochet all the way down. I think I'm gonna go up to row 10 and we'll see how it looks at that point. So go ahead and half double crochet all the way down to row 10 and I'll see you in just a bit. All right, so I believe we are at row 10 now. Well, I turned it and I'm in row 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Let me see how long this is right now. This is about 4-ish inches. I think I can start decreasing. That should be fine because it has more stitches, so we should be fine decreasing. So on row 11, I'm going to start making my decreases. Up, and then half double crochet all the way down up until your last 2 stitches. I think so far this is looking pretty good, and I am on the last bit of this yarn, so I'm probably going to have to add more yarn on this because I'm just using scrap yarn, I mean scrap fabric. This is a different video. This is a crochet video, not a sewing video. All right, so here I'm on my 3rd one. Here's the second to last and the last one. All right, so I should have 14 if I started with 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Perfect. I chained 1. Woo, look at that. That's all I have for this one little bit of yarn. Okay, row 12, I'm going to do a half double crochet all the way down and use as much of this yarn that I have until I have to grab another little baby ball of yarn. All right, we're almost done with this row and that yarn. Yeah, I'm like right there. So let me just grab another little bit of yarn. I have a few other ones. And there's so many ways that you can attach yarn. You can make a knot or just do this, which is going through here. And instead of pulling that old yarn, I'm going to pull some of the new one and use the new one. And then I can just weave these ends when I'm done. All right, so that was row 12. Row 13, I'm going to decrease again in the corners and half double crochet all the way down until I get to the last bit. Yeah, so I'm already planning some costumes for Halloween since this is pretty much the same as the other petal. So let's do a little chatting with Bianca right now. I'm already planning some looks for Halloween. Lauren and I, Lauren from Copper Top Ink, have talked about another ball for this year. We're still deciding of the costumes and whatnot, but hopefully we'll have some costumes to work on this year. But this one was actually inspired by an image that I saw on Pinterest, and I'm not going to show the entire image just yet because I still have a whole outfit to make, but it's basically a flower, which is what this is. So I hope this turns out really nice because I like how the image looked, and hopefully I can replicate it. Do y'all have any Halloween plans? Do you know what costumes you're thinking of or what you'd like to be for Halloween this year? Let me know down there below. Let's chat. You know I love costumes. All right, let me turn this here. I believe we should be on row 15. Yep, 15. Again, I'm gonna half double crochet, decrease. And if you have been enjoying my videos, please make sure to give them a like and subscribe. I think I'm gonna make a little like button, either of like crochet or sewing. My friend Monique, hey Monique, told me to make one, and then I can just like smash it every time that I talk to you here on YouTube. Just as a reminder that you can give me a like. That's free support. And if you do wish to support me further, I do have a Ko-fi account where you can provide me a tip. I will put that link in the description box below. I don't charge for my patterns. I do think it's pretty nice that I can share this for free. So if you'd like to support me a little bit further, other than free likes and shares and comments, subscriptions, then you can always share a tip on Ko-fi. I will always appreciate it. All right, so how many do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm gonna do one more. This should be row 17. 1. You know what? I'm gonna do 3 decreases here, so that I can have the 3 single crochet, 3 stitches at the top, and end at row 17. Okay. So this is where we are now. Perfect. So this one is about 6.5 inches tall. And that should look pretty good. All right, let me flip the camera around and let's see how it looks on. Let's try this on. I feel like I made the base beanie really big. Oh, lovely. This is exactly what it's supposed to look like. Oh, am I a sun? Am I a sunflower? Am I Lisa Simpson? This is looking pretty good, I think. Maybe I should have made this one not as tall. We'll see. I think it's looking all right though. What do you think? You guys never say anything when I ask you. Okay, I think this is looking okay. I do think that maybe I'll need, this happened last time and I just like cannot. I think what I'm gonna need is maybe some wires around the petals so it can help it stay up, because I don't want it to flop like this, and this yarn is a lot softer than this one. I should have probably purchased acrylic yarn for this one, because acrylic yarn would be a lot stiffer than the 2 that I'm using here. This one is an acrylic, but it's not as like hard as, you know, as hard as some acrylic yarns can get. All right, but this is looking okay. I think I am going to start marking off some of the small petals and see how that'll look. So I think I'll do that off camera and test it out. If it works out how I would want it to look, then I'll share it here. Like I said, I don't have a lot of the same yellows, so we're gonna see maybe more of this, maybe a variation. It's fine. Flowers have different colors. That's fine. So you know, we have to put a border on this. If you did see my video for the Demogorgon, you know that I don't really like having these little bumpy edges. I like having a border. So maybe we'll do that first and then I'll work on the other one. Yeah, let's do the border first and then we'll work on the inside petals. All right, let's go. So let's start on sewing. Let's start on making the border here. And you might see some of this wire come and sneak in. We're gonna test that out later. So I have this petal. This is the first one that I had made on, well, it's on my left side, but you know, I work from right to left, facing the material. Wow, just gonna be rambling on here. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to chain stitch one and then start single crocheting all the way around the piece. I think I'm gonna do about one single crochet around each stitch going up and around. All while hiding the yarn in the back. And if I can't hide it, I can always weave it at the end. And doing this single crochet is going to give it a really nice edge. I always like having a nice little edge on my projects. I hope this is gonna look good. I mean, it's gonna be a different yellow, so it'll maybe give it a little bit of like, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Oof. It's not dimension. Goodness gracious, what's the color? What's the name? Oh my God, ah! You know what, maybe I'll just stay quiet because I don't know what I'm gonna say. Yeah, I like that. Gradient? I like that color, the change. All right, so right over here, we're at the tippy top. So I'm just gonna do a single crochet in each one. Yeah, I'm not gonna do any increases in either of them, just a single crochet in each one. Okay, now I'm gonna go down. Because I don't want it to be a super pointy petal either. So I think that's gonna look okay, yeah. And just single crochet all the way down. I will say though, making the border is usually like the most difficult part for me. Because you have to see exactly like where you're gonna stick that single crochet in. And all of these tails that you see there is because I had connected my yarn with a knot rather than how I did it the other way. Okie dokies. So right over here you can see I'm finishing up my single crochet in the back of this petal because of course we didn't do, you know, we did it this way. So I'm gonna try to figure out how I'm gonna put this here, and I I might be able to just, let's see. See, this is why sometimes it's like a little difficult to share my makes, because I really just make them as I go and see if it works out. And if it does, then awesome. I'm glad that it does, but sometimes it can be a little difficult. All right, how's that looking? Looks a little weird. It's all right, because then I can do a single crochet here and turn it, and then start half double crocheting up, but also grabbing one from the back. Maybe I'll just sew them up later. Yeah. Okay, I know that was like super quick, and like what did you even do? What are you even talking about, right? If you see here, let me undo it so you can see it. All right, I did the single crochet all the way down, and we have our half double crochet back loops over here. So what I'm going to do is slip stitch for these 3 stitches. That way I can connect or make this yarn go over without having to loosen the yarn. And then right over here in the same stitch in the back loop that I did the other one, I'm going to single crochet. Then I'm going to turn it, and that will allow for me to do another single crochet down here, and then single crochet all the way up. But like I said, I want this to be in there. So do I, because I don't want it to hurt me either. Let's see. It's going to have to be like a tail, like the tail of the yarn, you know? So I need it. Oh, it's dirty too. Ew, gross. Let me get a wipe. All right, I'm cleaning this because I really don't want this to dirty up my beanie. All right, let's keep going. This is how it goes when I make anything. All right, so I'm gonna push this through here. Boop. And let's just, you know what? Let's give it a go. Let's try it out. I've never worked with wire in my crochet work, but I know I've seen people do it. No, I haven't seen people do it. Like, I've heard of people doing it, and I think one of you did do it for the Louise beanie. So look at, you guys are inspiring me too, because you know things that I may not know. So let's go. I think this is kind of working. Yeah, you can barely see it on the other side, which is pretty nice. So I'm gonna keep going this way. All right. The one problem though is, how am I going to make this not hurt me? Because I don't know if you've ever worn, you know, a brassiere or anything with a wire in it, and then that wire hurts. Oof, it's the worst. All right. Is that too much? Is that TMI? I don't know. Let's see. Let's keep going. All right, so then that's what I'm going to be doing. I think so far this is working. I'm going to do this all the way around, but I'm only going to put this wire on these 3 petals. I'm only going to put it on this one, the one in the center, and this other one. The 2 at the bottom, I don't think I really need the wire because it's going to dangle at the bottom of my face, so I don't think I need to do anything there. But I'm just gonna keep working around, watch a couple YouTube videos, and I'll see you once I'm done single crocheting all the way around my piece. Alrighty, see you soon. Bye. Just kidding, don't leave the video because we're not done yet. Alright, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so I'm almost done with this. I haven't done the last petal, but I wanted to show you what I had been doing. I ended up cutting the wires for each section because over on this side, I didn't have a clean way to make it go that way and then around. So I pretty much have 6 ends that I have to figure out how to hide and make sure that it doesn't hurt my head. So that's what I've done there. Then on this petal here, because it is no longer in front of the next petal, this one is behind the main one, or the big one, I cut the yarn as well, and I started a new bit of yarn going this way. But now I'm trying to figure out, and I think I have figured it out. And to be honest, this is the second time that I'm saying this because I thought I said it earlier, but the camera wasn't rolling. So, you know, that was the first take. But right over here, I'm in the back, and I'm going to just start grabbing some of this yarn and slip stitching it up until I have access to this section. So you see I did 2 slip stitch behind this petal, and now I can start single crocheting around. Or you can also cut the yarn and weave the ends at the very end if you'd like. I'm trying not to cut the yarn. I think this is gonna work, but we'll see once we're done. But this is what I've been doing. I know that sometimes, like I said, I do my crocheting and figuring things out, and then I forget to share it with everyone, or at least I feel like I do. But I wanted to make sure that I told you what I've been doing, be a little be transparent about that, because if you do it and then you have questions, and you know, I don't want that to happen either. But if you do have questions, put those in the comments and I'd be more than happy to help. So right now, all I have to do is finish this petal, and then I'm probably gonna try it on. Like, I'll flip the camera around and I'll show you what it looks like. Hopefully it looks good, because I just really want it to look good. All right, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so this is what we have so far. I just ate some peanuts, so peanuts. I just ate some peanuts, and these ones. So sorry if I'm still like chewing and stuff. All right, so this is what we have so far. I am liking that they're standing up. Wow. Anyway, I like how they look. I think with this one in particular, I have to figure out how to make it stand maybe a little bit more, or just leave it as is. I think this will be fine. I just have to figure out how to make sure that it doesn't, you know, deliberately disobey me when I say that I really like how it is standing up. You see how these don't have the wire? I'm going to make a tie. Like, I'm gonna make some ties down here so that I can tie them together, and then, you know, they're just gonna be doing their thing. Right over here, we have these ones that are standing up really nicely, and I really like how they look. I think this is looking really, really cute. I was thinking though that I was gonna make some smaller petals inside. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. Like, I really think this looks cute. So you can, you know, end it like this. The other thing that I'm having a hard time with, or I'm gonna have to figure out, you can, is this a wire? Did it break? Oh my God, it broke. Do you see that? I hope you see that. The wire broke. I don't know what type of wire it is, to be honest, because it's, I got it from Remainders. I know I talk about Remainders a lot, but it's because I really love that place. All right, well, I have to fix that a little bit and make sure that I don't like poke my head, because the wires are exposed like that. So I'll figure that out, I hope. But what do you think? Should I have left it like this? Because I think I might do another set of tinier petals inside. I think it looks really good like this though. I don't know, I might ask my mom. I ask my mom about everything. Yeah, but I think this looks pretty cute. And if I do make it with the other ones, I'll share it. But if not, then, you know, maybe this is it. I'll come back. I'll let you know at the end. We'll see in a bit. Okay, so I wanted to show you what I've done so far. I made this tiny petal in between these two big petals. And these are the ones on the side. And then here is the big one in the center. I'm doing the same thing as I did with these big ones, but just in a smaller amount. You can see that I'm gonna make the petals behind the petals and they're overlapping. I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 over here. So we're gonna have 7 tiny petals, and it's going to be roughly, it's going to be pretty similar as to what we did with the big ones. So let me grab some yarn. All right, so I'm going to go in the front loop because we have them available. We gave ourselves that extra loop to work in. So we're going to do a half double crochet in here and half double crochet all the way down. So that, I think I gave myself 9 stitches total. So half double crochet for 9 stitches down. And I'm catching all of the other yarn, of course. You want to say hello?
Hello!
Josh says hello, everybody. I'm trying to hurry up so I can go get some food because I'm starving.
She's always starving.
I'm always starving, I know. All right, so you see how I'm going in the back here? That, I'm trying to pick up the back loop. Even though the big petal is in there, I can still kind of sneak in there and grab that, that back loop. So I should have 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I guess I had done 8 here. I'm gonna do 9. Now what I've done is I will do a half double crochet all the way until row 4. All right, so now we're on row 5. On row 5, I am going to decrease in the corners. And half double crochet until I get to the last 2. Right, so we're going to decrease in the corners on the edges like we did before. This is row 5. Okay, so I finished my decrease. I'm going to chain 1, turn my work. Row 6, I'm going to half double crochet all the way down. Okay, chain 1, turn my work. Row 7, I'm going to decrease again in the corners. Can you see me? Oh my god, I'm like crocheting all the way on the other end of the table. I'm going to decrease and half double crochet, half double crochet, 1 more half double crochet, and a decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Then on row 8, chain 1, turn our work. I'm going to decrease again in these corners. So that's a decrease, half double crochet, and then a decrease. That leaves me with 3 stitches at the top, and that's what I want. So now I just close this off. And that is my second tiny petal. So as you can see, I'm gonna have these little petals inside of the beanie. I don't know why I put it so close. Hopefully you can see here. All right, so you can see I have these 2 little petals inside, and I'm going to do the exact same thing here, which is 4 rows of half double crochet. Row 5, we're going to decrease on the corners. Row 6 is half double crochet. Row 7 and row 8, we have decreases, and to fasten those off. So I'm gonna work on these other ones, and I'll see you maybe after dinner or maybe tomorrow, but I'll see you when I get these done. All right, so we'll see you in a bit. All right, so we're back, and I've made my little petals. I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little petals for my beanie, and I think it looks okay. We're gonna start with that. I think it looks fine. I could try it on and show you in just a sec, but I wanted to show you what I've been doing. I did the exact same thing as I did with these big ones when it came to doing the single crochet border around them. So I've done the single crochet around this border, then I did a few chains over here, and then going right back around. So I'm going around all of these pieces. I've left off right here because I need more yarn. So I'll be working around these here, but I can turn the camera around to show you what it's looking like. And then, you know, in the comments, let me know your thoughts on it, because yeah, let me just flip the camera around and we'll talk about it. Okay, so this is what this guy is looking like. And I think it does look really cute. I think it kind of reminds me of a daffodil, because a daffodil has like a flower on the outside and then it has a small little flower on the inside. This one right here and this one are giving me a hard time, like they keep falling, but nothing like a good old, you know, stitching onto the top petal. That'll fix it really quickly. I think it looks okay. I was wondering if maybe I should have made these bigger, but the more I see it, the more I'm thinking, you know, it kind of does look like a daffodil, and I really do like daffodils. They're like super cute, and you know, they're just really cute. Yeah, so I think this is gonna be fine. Like I said, I just need to tack these up and hopefully it'll work. And then right over here, this one is an extra one that goes on that side, and when I close it, I hope that it's going to close kind of down in the center, so it would be a little bit more even. But what do you think? Do you think, would you have done the small petals, or would you have done like bigger ones like this and spaced them out? I don't know, let me know. Let me know in the comments so that I know what you're thinking. But I'll finish this and then I'll work on the tassels next. I'm done crocheting all of the borders for these tiny petals, and I put that back on just to see where I want my tassels. So I've put those little stitch markers right over here. You know, looking back, I wish I had done this all green instead of yellow, because why did I choose yellow? I don't know, choices were made, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna grab some more green yarn. This hat, this beanie literally is made up of like 1, 2, 3, 4 different colors, because this is a different green than this one. I think this one is the same green as this one, but we use what we have. That's like the motto of this channel, right? Okay, so right over here, I'm gonna do this just the once so that you'll know, like, you're gonna do the same thing. I'm going to add my yarn right over here, and I'm going to start, how many should I do? I usually do about like 20, so I'm gonna do maybe 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna do 25 chains. I'm sorry, I didn't even say what. 25 bananas? What are we talking about? 25. Do I want it like that? Let's do 30. Let's just do 30. Just kidding, 31. 31. This should be enough to tie it and look pretty good. Okay, we're just gonna do it like this. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I am going to I'm gonna slip stitch in the first one, and then single crochet in this one, and do another single crochet. I'm gonna do a half double crochet, and another half double crochet, a double crochet, 2 double crochets in a row, then a treble, or the one that goes right before that. Yeah. Not a treble, but the one that goes right before it. I don't know what it's called, but you know, you loop twice, insert, you go through 2, and then you go through all 3. So that's the one that goes right before it. And now I'm gonna do the treble, where we loop twice, pull through 2, pull through 2, and then pull through the last 2. A half double crochet here. Let's see how this looks. Okay, and then a single crochet and a slip stitch. How's that looking? That's gonna be like a little leaf, or yeah, but I'm gonna go around it eventually. So let's go down. We're gonna slip stitch all the way down, and you can make this how you want. This is me literally just making it right now while I'm filming. I've said this many times before, but like I just make things how I see them, or how I want to see them, and if it turns out great, and if it doesn't, then yeah, you know. But I want you to also make things how you think they're gonna look, and that's what gives it your style, and it's gonna be unique to you, which I think is always great. I always love seeing everyone's interpretations of their makes, and like of the same thing, but everyone's is different. I think that's just so cool. I love that. All right, so I'm over here at the very bottom. Right, so I'm going to slip stitch here, and I'm going to turn my work because I want this to be bigger. I don't want it to be just one tiny one like that. So I'm going to turn my work and slip stitch up. You know, another thing I was thinking of is I kind of wish I had done this like in a different color. Can you picture this with a white flower on the background and then a pink inside? That's one of my favorite daffodils that I've seen, but I've never seen one in person. Like, I've seen pictures of it. I'll try to put a picture of it here, but I think that would look so pretty. Or if you can like make an orchid, oh my god. If my hands didn't hurt as much when I crochet, I would make so many things. But this will be fine. Okay, so I'm right over here. I'm going to do because I'm kind of close to where I started slip stitching. Right here is the single crochet. So I'm going to do a single crochet right there. Single crochet. Then the next one was a half double crochet, if I recall. And then we start in our treble. So you're basically going to do the exact same thing that you did on the other side, but in reverse. did 2 treble. Then the one that goes right before that, which again, I don't remember what it's called. If I remember, I'll put it in, if I find it, I'll put it in our, on the text here. Oh, you know, that was another thing I had, and I'm gonna do it in the community posts, but please comment on here and let me know, because I know that some people watch this from different areas, and I know I try to do a lot of videos, bilingual videos, English and Spanish, but I know some of you are watching from other places, which I think is really cool. Does it bother you when I put the like the instructions down here and you're looking like you're using Google Auto, YouTube Auto Translate? Because I wonder if that like bothers people. I really don't want that to, so you know, let me know if you've watched any of my other ones, or if you like how I've put my steps of the stitches on there. Let me know, because I do like to make sure that it's as useful for you, like it is useful, but if it's not, then I won't do it. So we're back here, 2 single crochets, and then I'm going to end it with a slip stitch. Boop. All right, so that is my tassel. It's going to be a leaf. You know what? I actually think I should have done this longer. Oof. We'll see. We'll see when we finish. But this is what it'll be. Maybe, you know what? Maybe do this a little bit longer, because then how are you going to tie it up? Like, it's just going to be one knot. Maybe do this a little bit longer. I'm going to try it like this, and we'll see in the end whether it works or not. But I'll do this, and then I think once I'm done with this, we might be ready for the reveal. And here is the final look. I really love this costume. Oh my god, I couldn't stop looking at it. I think the beanie turned out so good. I was doubting myself the entire way, obviously. If you've made it to the end, you know how I was, but you know what? I did a good job, and I know that you're gonna do a great job making your own flower too. Oh, I just love it. I did make one of the leaves a little bit longer than the other one that I had shown, so I would definitely suggest making the chain a little bit longer so that you do have the ability to tie it. Otherwise, it's quite short of a little tie there, but it works. I did try to put my hat behind my hair, so not exactly covering my face, so I could do this little like curl in the front and get a little bit of my curls, natural curls coming out here, so it'll frame my face. I did put some lines in these small petals. You can barely see them, but I sewed up some lines in there so that you can kind of see a little bit more of that detail like a flower has, those little veins. So I think those turned out really cute, and with my makeup I just put like all sorts of yellow eyeshadow that I could find in my makeup bag, a little bit of white in there. I'm not a makeup artist, we know this, but I think it looks really cute. Oh, I love it. The back of the beanie, I did mention that I think I had made this piece a little big, and I did, but it worked out at the end because it covers my hair really nicely, and I think it looks good. The actual costume is inspired by Katie Keene. I will put the image of her here so that you can see it. So if you've made it all the way to the end, please put a comment in the comment box below. Put a little yellow flower or a flower to let me know that you made it all the way to the end. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like and consider subscribing to see more videos like this one. If you do make a beanie like this, please share it with me on Instagram, tag me. I always love seeing your makes, and I'm gonna hopefully share another video with all of your makes if you allow me to share it. If you'd like to support my channel a little bit further, I do have a Ko-fi account where you can provide me a virtual tip. I'll put the link in the description box below. But as always, I always appreciate you being here. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.